What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. So behind me is our Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat, and we are hopefully in this video going to take it for its first drive. So if you guys haven't seen this car before, I'm gonna throw up some images. We ended up completely restoring this car. We bought it, the transmission looks like it had exploded. Car caught on fire. We took it, we stripped it down to bare metal. We self-etch primered it, painted it, clear coated it, went above and beyond factory. Then we fully built the engine, restored the whole car, and now it is to the point where you see it here today. So she is pretty much ready to go for its maiden voyage. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just checking the alignment. It was actually surprisingly pretty dang close, but I just dialed it in a little bit. If you guys have never seen these before, I'll link them down below. They're called toe plates. So you can essentially check the toe on any vehicle. And what it does is you just put a plate here, and then it has a identical plate on the other side. You put it up against the wheel and you run two measuring tapes across, and you can see how far in or out of toe you are. So I've got them pretty much zeroed out, which is pretty much what the factory spec is. So plus the other thing too is I got to make sure the steering wheel is straight. So with it pretty much zeroed out, when we go down the street, maybe the steering wheel is one way or the other, and then we'll have to bump things over. I also have a pretty nifty little tool that I got as well. If you guys are interested, like I said, I'll link it down below. It holds the steering wheel straight, so as I'm moving everything, the steering wheel is staying locked in and straight with this tool as well. So the interior's all in it. Only small thing is just this bezel needs to be replaced. We do have a chiller in it as well. I don't know which video is going to come out first, but I did install a chiller on this. If you guys aren't sure what that is or what that means, essentially now my AC is running through a box that is actually mounted behind the front bumper, and it is running the AC through that box, and we've deleted the factory heat exchangers. So all of our AC is running through that box, and it's cooling the supercharger coolant. So these are actually gonna start frosting up. Like, this is gonna get extremely cold, and what this is our cooling system for a supercharger. There's two cooling bricks in here. So as the air gets compressed through the supercharger, it runs through two cooling bricks before it heads down your intake runners into your engine. The colder you can get that air, the lower you can get your intake temps, the more timing you can run, the more power you can make, all that stuff. So this thing, the factory Red Eyes and Demon actually have a chiller, but it's tiny compared to this one. This one's way bigger, will make the temperatures way lower, more power. A couple other things, a little bit of housekeeping stuff for you guys. I do have a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna do that soon. So I've got a built drive shaft. My buddy Travis hooked us up. He went 4-link. I think I mentioned to you guys in another video. So I've got built drive shaft there that's going in the car, along with a bunch of other stuff. Corvette, if you guys haven't seen that, we just replaced the engine mounts and transmission mount on Boosted Motorsports 2 channel, so check out that video. Plus we've got a center force clutch going in it, we've got coilovers going in it, and then hopefully we'll be at the road course events with that. This one is just about a little bit more. We'll be able to hit the track with this, so got to dial it in a little bit, make sure the tune's good, but we are just about ready. This thing, you guys, maybe I should do a big reveal, but this thing came back from paint. If you guys do or don't know, this is our 426 Whipple supercharged Dodge Dakota that we're building. So this thing came out so nice, you guys. Look at that. Got nice bed liner in it. If you guys do or don't remember, this thing was purple before, and now it is no longer purple. It looks so good. So I completely stripped this thing down, right down to the engine bay, right down to the frame. That way they could get in and do a complete proper color change on this thing. This thing looks so good. All headlight pockets, everything. So I took it down to nothing. We put these just junk steelies on it, just so we didn't get any overspray on our wheels. It looks great, you guys. Comment down below what you guys think. So we're gonna get cracking on this. I just got a tiny bit of stuff to button up on that, and then we can get cracking on this one so that this one can finally get done. But this thing looks really, really good. So all under the hood, all in behind, everything. All the door jambs got painted too. So check it out. Inside we did bed liner, also bed liner on the back there. But yeah, that was the old color if you guys remember. Once the door panels go on, you won't see it, but all of our door jambs are all painted, so looks really, really good. Okay, so for now what I'm gonna do, actually, Since alignment's set, I'm gonna put it back up. I'm gonna lock in my jam nuts. I have to put in some fluid in the rear differential because we ended up draining it. And just to putt around for now, I'm just gonna run this rear cradle. But if you guys didn't see over there, the cradle that's going into this thing is crazy. Another weird issue I have to fix is, I don't know if there's a key somewhere in this trunk, but watch, it'll unpop itself. I don't know why, it unlocked. I don't know if it thinks we're locking a key in the trunk. So I gotta figure out that issue. Let me show you guys one last thing. So if you guys do or don't know, we've got this rear cradle. This is my buddy Travis hooked us up with this. This one's got a bunch of stuff on it. We've got a 15-inch Wilwood rear conversion. I gotta clean up the rotors a little bit. The company that he had working on his car, I guess, left it outside. That's where it got all the surface rust, but it's got the upgraded lockout cups for the bushings. It's got a billet differential, you guys, literally a billet chunk of aluminum. Upgraded bushings here. It's got this additional mount for the differential, 2,000 horsepower axles, all adjustable control arms on it. So we're gonna pop this guy in there. We'll probably it's only gonna be 4 bolts, and I gotta just bleed the brakes essentially. I'm waiting for some hardware to show up for the brakes because I needed to get different brake lines for these calipers. So once that arrives, then we can pop this in, put in our new drive shaft. Not only that, but I also have a converter to put in as well. This thing is gonna be a beast, you guys, but for now, let's get that fluid in there and then we can hopefully rip this thing. All right, so we got some differential fluid in here, added the limited slip additive, the Mopar one. Only other thing I'm thinking of is there's not much adjustment at all on these cars, but there is right here. You can see there's one of these cam bolts. So if anything, I feel like this wheel is maybe a tiny bit in. So I might push this in, so effectively move this arm in, which will actually bring the back of it in and kind of make it a little more straight. We can also actually throw our toe plates on the back here and just check quickly whether it's just an illusion or whether it's actually in like I think. Before I touch it, let's put it down, check it, and then I'll see if I'm crazy or not. But this one, for whatever reason, to me appears just a tiny bit toe in. All right, you guys, well, the toe don't lie. You can see over here. So we're on here. I propped it up with some wood. If you guys have ever used these before, sometimes you kind of have to mess with them a little bit to get them to actually sit up against the tire. Like if there's a bulge on the tire, you kind of want to get past it, whatnot. But check it out. We're about an 1/8, so I guess 78 and 7/8, just an 1/8 under 79. Then over here, we're like 78, and what would that be? 78 and almost a half. 78 and 3/8, it looks like. Yeah, so we're about a 1/4 inch or so off. So my original suspicion is correct. So this wheel is actually tucked in the front. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that adjuster and, like I said, suck the back of the wheel in, effectively kind of turn it like this, and then we should get a better measurement here. So let me try that. All right, so I just took that adjuster and just cranked it to push the toe of this wheel as far out as I can. Visually it looks a little bit better. Probably won't be able to tell from the camera. Obviously, I guess a couple things to note. There is something, before somebody beats me in the comments, there is something called the string method, where essentially you wrap a string around all 4 wheels, and then you can kind of see which one is, you know, in or out, and you can adjust your toe that way. But the problem with that method is that is under the assumption that you have 4 equally spaced wheels. So if you have 4 wheels that are identical, when you have like a staggered setup, like big fat meaties in the back and skinnies up front, you can't do it, because if you try to go from this to this and then it tries to go inwards, then it's going to be on an angle going to that front wheel. So you can kind of only use a string method when everything's a square setup. But anyways, here's the adjuster. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me hit the lights for you guys. Bam. So if you guys can see right there, I pushed it over, kind of maxed it out. But anyways, this should get us in the ballpark till we get an actual alignment. But there's no point in getting an actual alignment on this when we're going to be putting the other cradle in, and then, you know, everything's going to be slightly different again. But just want to kind of get it in the somewhat ballpark for now. But let's put it back down, see what that did. Hopefully it's a little bit better. All right, so we are definitely a little bit better, you guys. So we've got 78 3/4, and then we are about 78 5/8. So we're about an 8 toe in right now. What you could do if you were trying to do this, and obviously we're gonna be dropping this after a quick little rip, but you could technically loosen all the bolts in the cradle, bring that one in a little bit, and try to center the cradle a little bit. So there is some adjustment to play with, but again, this is all coming out, so I'm not overly critical on it right now, but I just wanted to bring this out at least somewhat half decent. Let's wrap this up. Let's figure out why this trunk will not close. There might, my buddy Roman actually said, "You sure there's not an extra key in the trunk?" So apparently these cars, if you have the key and you close it in the trunk, it'll pop the trunk back open. I have the only key that I programmed because I didn't have a key when I got the car. Potentially maybe a key in the car. Let me see if I can figure this out. All right, so weird enough, I have a spare latch, and if I plug in the spare latch, it doesn't do it. This one, which physically doesn't look like anything's wrong with it, but watch. So this one, I'm gonna set this down and I'll show you guys. All right, so this is a spare latch. I plugged it into the harness in the car. If I lock it, it stays locked. If I reach up here, hit the latch, pop, it opens. If I unplug this one, do the same test on this latch, it'll open by itself. Watch. Locked. And it opens itself. No idea why. So let me go ahead and put the other one on. I can't figure this one out. It's the weirdest thing. It's like there's nothing smart about this, but clearly that one has an issue. All right, guys. Well, after spending a ton of time on this, the trunk still behaves a little bit funny, and it has to do with the BCM upgrade that we did, but I'll figure that out later. I managed to get it staying closed for now, but let's finally go ahead and take this thing for its maiden voyage. So we'll fire it up, move it out, get things up to temperature, check our fluid levels and everything, make sure everything's good, and then nothing crazy, but probably do a little bit of dad logging, actually get this thing rolling a little bit. And like I said, not gonna get into it, but kind of just do some cruising around, partial throttle stuff, send that off to the tuner, see what he says, make sure it's all good, and go from there. Here she is, guys. Listen to that thing. running, she's driving, but as expected for a car that's been completely rebuilt, threw a couple of traction control lights, so might plug in quickly before we start too much more of a drive. But I mean, she drives straight with our alignment that we did. This guy always parks backwards. Steering wheel's a little bit crooked to the right, but nothing crazy, just a tiny bit off. But drivability is really good. We've got Dennis logging. Have a log look, Dennis. Logrific? Is that a word?
It's good.
Yeah. So we'll go back just for a second here and see what she's unhappy about as far as these traction control lights, and then go for a little bit longer of a drive.
Woo! He wants to go.
Let her eat. Oh, yeah, here's my name. Here's Gilbert.
Oh, look at this.
Alright, so it was mad because of a wheel speed sensor back here. I actually remember this one, but because we had this all apart, I just got to tighten that up a little bit. So it's on there, but it just needs to be snugged up a bit, and then should be happy again. Alright, so we are back in business. So we got all the ABS lights and all that stuff cleared. Intercooler temps with the chiller, look at that, 64, and we're not even moving. 79-degree ambient temps. So chiller's working good. Let's back her up. This is just for a couple sensors, nothing major, but we'll get that cleared out with the next revision.
Take the cobwebs off.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's not anymore if you don't drive it.
Get all the garbage out. Okay, so we put the new used sensor in. We finally got Dennis to get his hands dirty, literally. He's putting in 110 mil. He's gonna lose.
Guys, in the comments, let him know. He's being mean to me.
Wow.
Let him know. This is unacceptable.
Dennis said he's gonna start a sympathy channel. With a GoFundMe for tacos. Sympathy tacos.
Support my taco habit.
Give
me the ratchet.
See, look at this. I gotta get him. I don't even know where you put it. That's the.
It's gotta be over
You
there
can't even
somewhere.
work with this guy. He just.
Is it on the
He
bench?
loses tools. Loses flashlights. I don't even have the. Where's the socket?
It's up here.
Why?
Because I'm getting work done, John.
If anybody wants a free friend, he's taking friend applications in the comments. Can't get nothing done around here. Alright, so in about 3 hours, Dennis will finish and then we'll get back on the road.
This is a union rate.
Alright, so it is still showing the C0037 code, but it's just that left rear sensor. Even after changing the sensor, it's still throwing it, but it's just one wheel speed sensor. But for now, we can do a little bit of data logging and kind of cruise around. Nothing too crazy. Hey, she works, guys. Just a little casual cruise. I mean, just having one wheel speed sensor, that's alright, right? That's acceptable.
Fine.
After the car has been completely obliterated, I think we can.
It's better than what it had.
That's true. That's true. She's hungry for all the boosties, Dennis. All the boosties.
I don't know what we're doing here.
Dennis is the new tuner. Are you the tuner, Dennis?
What
are you? Yeah? Dennis over here behind the keyboard.
All I know how to do is hit the up arrow.
Look at that guy's shop. It's pretty nice.
Everything looks pretty happy here.
That guy's gonna steal that dog.
Probably.
I feel like you can hear like I don't know if it's the brake rotors, but like
The new pads and rotors.
yeah. Or it could be the big chunk that's missing out of our back caliper or rotor. I mean,
Could be. Could be a bearing that's dragging a little bit.
well, there's literally a chunk missing out of this back
You got 3
rotor. Look at how much garbage they got, Dennis. They got all the garbage.
That's a bonfire waiting to happen.
Look at it. We're flying with bald eagles. Oh no, somebody said it's a falcon last time. That's not a bald eagle, it's a falcon. Look at it, look at it. Woo-hoo-hoo! Flying with falcons. Yeah. No, Dennis, can't get too excited. We're still on a bass tune. See, Dennis is a bad influence. See what happens when Dennis is around? Okay.
You got the Hot Boy tune.
Hey, let's go.
Hot Boy tune. Poppy Pops.
I'm okay with that. I just want to be like, can't do it yet. There's old ladies on golf carts, Dennis. We gotta behave.
Behave.
We have to.
As long as they don't have the loofahs on the back of their golf carts.
Yeah. Seriously. Alright, we're hot lapping the streets. We're not getting too crazy. I want to hear some Hot Boy pops though. I kind of get down with the pops. I think Sport makes more pops.
Unable to change.
Yeah, it's because of the freaking ABS. It doesn't want to change for us. Ooh, I like the poppy pops. I think if we hit the paddle right now, it might bark. Jesus, she's mad. What do you think? First impressions?
It's got the Hot Boy tune. Good to go.
Yeah, see? That's all we need. A little Hot Boy tune here and there.
Right to Bradenton.
I really want to fix that freaking sensor, but I wonder if it's in the hub itself.
Could be the hub, or probably the next easiest thing to do is to check continuity from the harness.
See if it's got the right continuities.
Well, you know, who knows if anything else got damaged back there for the wires coming forward.
Yeah.
Maybe there's, you know, something got kicked up, sliced a wire.
Maybe a bullet or two.
Just saying. Buckshot.
Ooh. I wonder what let's see what our IATs are driving around, or our intercooler temperatures.
I can tell you right here, at 54 degrees.
Well, I can't see that, Dennis. 54?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
52.
That's air intake. Let's see, where's our other one? 51. Nice. Air fuel ratio looks decent. Just that one sensor. Out of all the things, Dennis, one sensor.
You can do a better job next time.
I know, I should.
It's all in the details.
It is.
It's like not even getting it to boost.
I know.
You're like 100 kPa.
It's all motor, baby.
That's a little bit of boost.
I feel like the brakes are super pulsy with that freaking thing. Service tire pressure. Oh no. Oh, I think we already knew that. Oh look, it registered 2 friggin' sensors when I did that. I guess the front's got tire pressure sensors. brakes are sketchy. All right, guys, well, car's up on the lift, and since I got Dennis's help, we were just taking a look at this. So kind of a couple things. Either my boy with 2 first names, Travis Tucker Travis, sold me a half shaft that doesn't have a tone ring on it, or because we used a different year SRT spindle, the offset, like it's not all the way in, because when I look in there, I do not see the tone ring lining up with the sensor. So that's the situation with that, because we popped this one out and I can see the tone ring on here. So either something's going on with the offset of the axle, but me and Dennis said, why don't we just put in our fully built rear axle assembly. So we're gonna put the whole cradle in, since it has to go in anyways. The pieces showed up that I needed to get that done, so we're gonna pull the exhaust system, and once the exhaust's out of the way, then we can just drop the whole thing with the 4 bolts, and then we'll put the other rear cradle in. Okay guys, so we've got the new cradle up, the old cradle's back in the corner, and we're putting in the billet differential with all of our billet control arms, 15-inch conversion. We transferred over the wire harness, transferred over our springs, transferred over our shocks. So am I missing anything, Dennis?
I don't think so.
Nope.
Hangers for the exhaust.
Yep.
Bushings.
We'd be ready to go.
Rings to the top of the bushings.
Oh, and what did we just find out? That the reason why we had the ABS code was because Travis Tucker had taken the tone rings off of that half shaft that we had gotten from him, the axle, and he had put it on these aftermarket axles. So that's why we had the error on that other one, is because it had no tone ring on it, like I figured. So this one will have tone rings, no more ABS codes. Let's get it in. So new rear end is in. We've got this billet differential. I didn't put the drive shaft in yet. I'm gonna save that for a little bit later with you guys. A couple reasons. One, I had to kind of drop this side of the tank to be able to run these massive fuel lines, so I gotta maybe reroute some stuff, because in order to fit the built drive shaft, I gotta put my tank back up into the factory position, because that drive shaft is huge and I don't want it to rub on our tank and, you know, cause issues. So we'll deal with that, but we're also still gonna put that converter in here at some point too, so the drive shaft has to come out anyways. But we're not going to the track obviously right now. We're still dialing things in, so this one will be fine just for kind of rolling around. But anyways, she is all in here, everything's good. We now have tone rings on our axles, so we shouldn't have any issues there now, thankfully. So let's go ahead, put this thing down, and test it out. Everything is good so far. So the only light we have on here, if you can see, is just the traction control light, and the only reason that is because we're in sport mode. If I put it back to auto, that'll go off. So we are completely error-free on this dash, you guys. We've got cold AC in here. It's 80 degrees out. Check out our intercooler temps. They are at 64 right now, but we're not even moving. So the inner chiller is working. I'll talk more about the inner chiller in a future video. I'm actually getting a stage 2 upgrade kit for this chiller, so those intercooler temps are going to be even lower. So yeah, lots on the go right now. I'm just at Walmart, but now is a perfect time to tell you guys that you guys can head over to shopboosted.com and get yourself a kill switch. So I would not be stupid enough to leave this car unattended. You guys know that Hellcats go missing all the time, So this thing has literally, I'm not even exaggerating, multiple tracking devices hidden throughout the vehicle. Not only that, but it has the Boosted Motorsports kill switch on it, which you guys can head over to shopboosted.com. I'll link it down here below or put it on the screen, shopboosted.com, and you can head over. There's a bunch of other parts too, but since we're on the topic of Hellcat stuff, you guys can get a kill switch for any modern Mopar, anything pretty much 2013 and up. This kill switch fits, it's plug and play, no cutting, and you guys can have a kill switch, which I have on this vehicle as well. I have as many possible things as I can to make sure that this thing doesn't go anywhere, or if it does, we'll be right behind them with all the tracking devices. Anyways, I'm gonna pop into Walmart right now. I'm gonna get some oil. So, because right now we're just on the AMSOIL break-in oil. I wanna just throw in one more round of mineral oil, run that for maybe a few hundred miles, and then we'll dump it again. So I'm just gonna run in there, grab some, and then I can head back and I'll show you guys a little bit. I'm not going too crazy with the drive right now. We're still just dialing things in, but she's running awesome, you guys. All right, let's fire this thing up. Hey. Look at that intercooler temp. Let's watch it go down. 104, 98. This thing's still mad that we don't have tire sensors. Get back to what we wanted to see. 95, that's just gonna keep dropping the longer we sit here idling. 91. This thing is too cool, you guys. 89. She's just gonna rock all the way down. So we're gonna go back. Like I said, I'm just going back and forth with revisions, and then I'm trying to get rid of the rest of this little fuel in here. We've got just over a quarter. Once I get through that, then I can put E85 in it. I'm gonna try and wait for the low fuel light to come on, and I can fill it up with E85, and then I can load my E85 to it, and we can really start to get cooking on this thing. All right, so I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but this differential is screaming, you guys. So we're probably gonna have to send this differential back to get rebuilt, because that is screaming. That is a lot of gear noise. Hear that? Alright, I want to see if this camera, I'm trying to capture it on my phone so we can kind of send it off to the guy, but hopefully this picks it up better. That's not supercharger. That's all differential. You guys hear that? It's so nasty sounding. That is not supercharger, I promise. We got two superchargers, one in the back, one in the front. The one in the back is unfortunately louder than the one in the front. But we'll get her sorted out, you guys, but she is alive. Oh man. All right, you guys, well, I'm gonna change out the oil on this thing, but I wanna get this video out for you guys. I am pumped. This has taken quite a ways, but maybe not in retrospect. It's just been a lot of work to get to this point to where we can finally drive it and start enjoying it. So we are gonna have to address that rear end. I don't know if it's coming across in the video. I haven't got around to editing this just yet, but we got to get that addressed, obviously. That's probably going to get sent out to get redone, because I think there's some sort of warranty on it. I got to talk with my buddy on it, but either way, we can always put the stock rear pumpkin back in. Of course, it's more work, but at least so we can still enjoy it while that one gets sent out maybe and comes back, because I don't know, that's so loud that I'm almost a little nervous to even just put it around like we were, because that thing is almost grinding in there. I bet you if we drop that rear differential fluid, it's gonna look nasty. But the car is running good. No check engine lights, you guys, no other errors whatsoever. So all of our work is good to go. It's just that one little thing, but huge progress, you guys. Comment down below what you guys think. Also, go head over to shopboosted.com. Support your boy, grab yourself some merch. We got shirts, all sorts of parts, HID kits, plug and play kits, consultations. If you guys want a Hemi swap or Hellcat swap something, we got that for you as well. So head over there, support your boy. That way we can continue to do cool and crazy projects like this. Check out the other videos if you haven't already. Subscribe, and we will see you guys on the next one.